ask me why I'm running out of laughter. There's tears in these eyes, not happy ever after.
Hi everyone, welcome to my weekly messages. I'm Jelaila Starr. Today's topic is Ascension, an event or process. This topic came as a result of sessions that I had this week. And the way that the sessions came about tell me that it was more than just coincidence that the same issue came up in 3 sessions all on the same day. Boom, boom, boom. Whenever I have that happen, that tells me that this is an assignment that the guides want me to fulfill. And in this case, this issue is something that has, there's more people that are dealing with it than just my 3 clients. And therefore, it might behoove us to share it with a broader audience in the hopes that it would help clear up some misunderstanding and help people move on with their path. So, what is the issue? The issue involves a understanding of ascension. Now, there's basically, as I understand it after 20 years in the New Age movement and observing the New Age movement, is that there's 2 schools of thought about ascension. It's an event like the coming of Christ, and you must work very hard to be found worthy to be a part of this momentous occasion when we're all going to be changed we're all going to be moved to another reality. We're going to drop our bodies and we're going to go live in this other reality in total peace and nirvana and bliss and all that. Okay, so that's one way of looking at it. And the other one is that it is a process, that there's no event involved. And we're always in this process because that is what is sold us. So, but what each one of these beliefs does really impacts us on a daily basis. And not only does it impact us emotionally, it impacts our relationships, which I guess is partly emotionally. It impacts our, our outlook. I mean, well, let's use these examples of my clients this week. We'll call them Mary, Beth, and Joanne. So Mary, Beth, and Joanne came to me with this same issue about their understanding of ascension, and they understood it as an event. It wasn't a process. But what this did in their lives was create so much chaos and so much havoc. I mean, Jesus Christ. So, okay, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, well. Anyway, let's move on. So here's what it did. The first question they asked was whether or not they should leave their husbands, whether they should divorce their husbands. And why? Because their husbands, no matter how hard they tried to spiritually enlighten their husbands, the husbands just didn't get on board. So they felt that because their husbands didn't get on board with this whole spiritual awakening, that they needed to move on and find a different partner because they were just no longer on the same wavelength. Okay, that's number one. The second thing is that it wreaked havoc in their relationships with their family. They were trying to enlighten their children. Didn't work. They were trying to enlighten family members. Didn't work. And they were trying, the other thing was they felt like they had to save these people. And so the way they were saving these people was through enlightening them, because if they could enlighten them, they would fix all their problems and everybody would be happy and they'd all be on board together and they would all move forward to this momentous event and they would all be caught up together and go through this transition and, transformation and, I understand they're wanting to do that. No one wants to leave their family behind. If they love them, if they like them, they definitely want them to come with them. But where this led these clients was to, walking away from a marriage, from a man who was still in love with them, still faithful to them, still providing for them, doing his part. And the impact that would have on their family. It had driven a wedge between them and their children. It had driven a wedge between them and their siblings and their parents. And they just felt frustrated and like they weren't making it. They weren't going to make the grade. They were running out of time. They were failing. They were just ready to give up. Well, that's not what our guides want us to hear. They don't want to hear that. They don't want us to give up. I mean, think about how hard so many people on the other side have worked to get us to the point where we would awaken. Because there's a lot of starseeds that were sent here, but not all of them have awakened. So the ones that have awakened, they certainly don't want them to go back to sleep, which would happen if they give up. They just go back into the 3D world and they wouldn't continue on their path. Well, whatever assignments, whatever missions they had. Now, you know, there's 5 people trained for every mission. Okay, we've been told that. But think if you had to. Well, you just don't want to lose them all. You know, you just don't want to lose them all. You would love to see 2 or 3 fulfill a mission that is similar. I mean, believe me, they can expand missions to accommodate 3 people who are trained for the same thing. They can give this guy a little more here and this guy a little more here. And, you know, they don't want to lose anybody. So what was the solution? The solution was to resolve the core issue. And the core issue was this understanding of ascension as a future event that you must qualify for by saving all the people around you, i.e. enlighten them. Okay, so what is a higher perspective on ascension? What is another way of looking at it? Okay, here it is. Ascension is a process. It is basically a process of evolving the consciousness, of raising the consciousness. So how do you raise the consciousness? You raise the consciousness by changing your beliefs, because beliefs are the foundation of a consciousness. It's the structure, the infrastructure, okay, the foundation. So you go from dysfunctional beliefs to functional beliefs. What's the difference? A dysfunctional belief is based in fear. A functional belief is based in compassion. The ability to see both light and dark as having value, so that there is no polarity. It is like the null zone, the 0 point. And so as you raise and adopt and embrace beliefs that are integrated, that's the shifting of your consciousness. So then what happens in your body? As you shift your consciousness, your body follows suit, because, okay, I don't want to get too complicated with this because this could get really long. And we've talked about this in previous messages. But all of your current beliefs, all your beliefs that you brought with us, functional, the dysfunctional, are all encoded into your DNA. And they're actually, it's the fear, which is of a lower frequency, who makes up the carbon in your DNA. So as you remove the fear, there's light that fills that empty space. So your DNA starts to change from carbon to light field or crystalline field. And that's the raising of the consciousness. So as you change your beliefs, you eliminate, you're moving away from the beliefs that were 3D that could be seen through as represented by the carbon in your DNA. So as you do that, you're filling your DNA with more and more and more light, right? So you're transitioning your body on a cellular structure as you shift your consciousness. The soul is going to do that journey, and every lifetime it gets a chance to. The soul is all about growth. I mean, that's the only reason it incarnates, is to explore and experience and grow, go from dysfunctional to functional. And it will set up dysfunctional situations and jump into them and then try to work their way out of it as a way to grow. Just like we will create games that are difficult, and when we master them, we grow. You know, when you go from a hobby golfer to a pro golfer, okay, or somebody who plays chopsticks on the piano to a master pianist. This is how a soul works. So it is a process that we're going to achieve in every lifetime, or we're going to work on in every lifetime, soul growth. Now, Ascension has just a little bit more of a definition for this particular lifetime, because the souls who came here now know that we are going through a big shift, you know, on the planet. We are completing cycles within cycles within cycles, which we just did in 2012. So Ascension is like you're going to get a quantum leap this time if you do it now. If you come this time and you do some growth, you get a quantum leap out of it, just rather than a few, you know, levels up. So ascension is a process. So where does that leave a person who believes that way? They got time. They don't have to recruit their family. They don't have to enlighten anybody. All they got to do is work on their own inner stuff. And they know that as they change, it affects their relationships because people see that they're happier, they're more at peace, they're more loving, they're more giving, they're more compassionate, they're more understanding. And people are naturally going to respond to that kind of energy. So when my clients all understood, they was like, wow, we can take the load off. We're not behind. We're not going to fail. We just got to keep working on our own stuff and leave our families alone. Go back and apologize and say, I'm so sorry for trying to enlighten you. I'm so sorry for sending you the message that your beliefs weren't okay. Because that's really what we're trying to do. We're saying what you think is all messed up, and therefore you have to change the way I think. When the truth is, everybody's on their path. Everybody's here to reach a certain level that they want to reach for their soul growth, and it may be totally different from yours. So when you go back and you apologize, you're saying, your way is fine. It's beautiful. It's right for you. And this is my way. And I respect yours. Respect mine. We're good. All right. So if you are struggling under that belief that it's about an event, you know, you can let it go now. Go prove it to yourself. You don't have to believe me. Anyway, if you're struggling, you need help, I do offer counseling. You can give me a call, and we'll get you going in the direction you want to. You take care. Have a great week. I'm getting ready to go walk the dogs. That's why I'm in my workout clothes. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.